Welcome to episode 31 of Fizzy's Wacky World of Wrestling, folks. Now, folks, we had ourselves a really nice show last week. We did it on Sunday. That was episode 30, Miracles Do Happen, where we covered WWE Hell in a Cell. Episode 31 was just going to be a simple show of a plagues of tables, ladders, and chairs. However, Sal had a guest spot over on Shooting the Breeze with Taker's Minion and MDS, and, well, they decided they wanted to do a crossover show with us this week. So, here we are, doing an audible this week and bringing in both Taker's Minion and MDS onto the show.
Hello. Hello and greetings, everyone.
Yep. Yep.
This is still somehow less thrown together than that one time we had both of you on when Fizzy dropped out for like a minute or two.
Yes, I remember that.
This is basically the official crossover. This is basically the official mashup rather than the run-in that we did a few weeks back. So
the run-in to save Sal from the
wandering all.
Yeah, I know. Holy crap, that was bad. I owe you guys.
Yeah. So that episode was the fall calm before the tornado of football season where that technical difficulty happened. This time we're going to be doing the whole show with these free individuals. And also Sal did the Iron Maning on Shooting the Breeze earlier today. So
which we thank him for.
Yep. And I was more than happy to do it, my friend.
So today's show is going to be a preview of WWE TLC, which they titled on their show WWE Tables, Ladders, and Asuka, because Asuka is going to be on one of the matches on this card. Now, before we get to the Empress of Destruction's completely destroying poor, unfortunate Emma, we have 7 matches to talk about. So we have, where do you want to start with? The pre-show match?
Sounds like a good as place as any to start.
Okay, so Sasha Banks versus Alicia Fox, and Alicia Fox has gone insane yet again and is just trying to demolish Sasha Banks yet again. So, MDS, what are your thoughts on this match?
I don't know. The narrative of this story is, well, basically Alicia Fox really not satisfied with the way that Sasha Banks dumped her on the five-way to determine who's going to face Asuka, for that matter, I think. And they had a rematch just to prove that Sasha Banks was cheating, and yet she lost. And then that's the point where Alicia Fox went crazy again. I don't know how many times now that she has gone crazy, but I'm not interested in the story of this at all, at all. And considering the fact that both of these women are talented, one is already a veteran for about what? More than 5 or 6 years now, for that matter.
Close to 10.
And close to 10? Okay, sorry. Close to 10. And Sasha Banks, who has been in the main event, now is relegated to the pre-show. That's surprising to me.
Although, in all honesty, looking at this card, there's actually 3 women's matches on this show, which is shocking. And this is the matches on the pre-show, and this looks decent.
Yeah, I mean, the matches... Sorry, go ahead, NDS.
No, it does. It does. Just that's all I'm saying.
Yeah,
it does.
Yeah, the match itself looks like it'll be decent, and that is one thing I was going to mention here, Fizz. Like, for all the crap I'll give this card for being half-assed, half-slapped together at the last minute, at least that's what it feels like. The fact that there are 3 women's matches on the card, that's pretty good. Now, it would be better if they had given them all better builds.
But we have to take what we can get out of this out of the booking team at this point.
I know. I'm taking my small victories where I can. I'm not absolving WWE's bullcrap. Don't get me wrong, but
sure,
I'm not going to look this gift horse in the mouth.
If we can actually find the gift horse somewhere.
What gift horse?
It's a half-dead mule. There's your gift horse.
Oh goodness. Okay.
My goodness, Sal. How can you tell Vincent Kennedy McMahon that he's got a half-bred mule horse when it comes to this pay-per-view?
Well, also, there's also extenuating circumstances behind possibly the shuffling of this card, but we'll get into that later in the show. So, Sal, any other thoughts on Sasha Alicia?
No, just that, again, it'll be a pretty decent match. Hopefully they'll get some time, like at least 10 minutes.
Oh, certainly they will, because it's the pre-show.
Yeah, that's the one good thing about being on the pre-show. You actually get some time.
Mm-hmm.
This is true.
Yep. Okay, Taker, what are your thoughts on this match?
I see it as a match that's going to be. We all know, everybody knows that Sasha cannot be gone over right now because she has to look strong for the upcoming possible fight with Asuka.
And also the Women's Survivor Series match that will be coming
Exactly.
up pretty soon.
The Survivor Series match, horsewomen versus horsewomen, which I still don't believe is going to go off. Because
I don't think it's going to blow off either. If they were going to do the build for the horsewomen match, they would have started it right about now, which they haven't.
No. Even though Ronda Rousey is being trained by the Brian Kendrick, quote unquote, by rumors. What about her husband? He's talking about coming in too now.
Well, based on the rumors, because that's what I got, because they were talking about possibly just dragging her husband as well, just to create interest. That's it.
Well, he's on Dana White's dirty list because he came
Basically, he's on Dana's White.
Yeah, I mean, well, if they can't get Matt Riddle, they might as well get Ronda's husband.
Jeez,
yeah, but there's also talk about Ricochet coming too, but that's beside the point.
Well, also, apparently, Lucha Underground might have funding for season 4, which means that Ricochet might be out of luck in this situation.
No, he's actually good because he was only under contract until season 3.
Okay, so he's under contract to season 3. We'll see. Well, like I said, we'll see where Ricochet goes, but he's going to go where the money is, and either it's going to be WWE or it's going to be back to New Japan. Because he certainly doesn't want to get locked into yet another contract with Lucha Underground because of what happened last time.
Well, doesn't CMLL have a shot at him too?
Unlikely, as I feel as though the AAA may offer him a boatload of money to sign with them.
Would he sign with them though? That's the question.
Would
That's the
probably
question.
yes.
The question is, if he signs with AAA, that's a mistake.
Yeah,
it is a mistake, but here's the thing. They have a thing where, yes, the promotion is a absolute 7th levels of hell disaster. But the one thing that they have over CMLL is that they do push foreigners heavily on their cards.
Yes, they do.
Yeah.
But like we've all said before, like we've all said before, all of us, that after a nuclear holocaust, there would be Twinkies, cockroaches, GFW, Impact, whatever the hell it is now, and AAA.
Yeah.
Oh, and don't forget Jarrett for that matter.
Yeah.
Joe's still trying to sell his gold bars and his thousands of guitars that are currently sitting in the Impact warehouse.
I know.
To what? To Twinkies and cockroaches?
Of course. Yes. Yes. Well, when the bomb goes off, those cockroaches are going to get like super intelligence or something.
Oh, goodness. Fine.
So this match here, Alicia Fox versus Sasha Banks, looks to be a pretty fun match. I'm honestly looking forward to it, as Alicia is a solid worker and Sasha Banks, well, can carry anything at this point.
Well, we can say one thing about Alicia Fox. She finally got herself some merch.
Yes, she got herself some merch.
That merch is so awkward, though.
Crazy
Whether
like
she
a
likes
fox.
it or not is a different matter altogether.
Crazy like a fox.
It's not the saying on it. It's the
it's the fox girl on the front of the t-shirt is what you're going to say, Sal.
Yes, it's the furry on it. Let's just be frank. Good Lord, that is awkward.
Yes, the furry. I could go so many places with the furry, but I'm not going to.
I know we could. Like, I'm just trying to avoid them all.
Well, I'm gonna go fight. I mean, if we get attacked by furries, well, I'm priming up the barbecue grill, which I've been cleaning out in the backyard as we speak. So we'll have ourselves some nice roasted purple bear with some lovely nice fried squirrel all up on the grill. Nice little vinaigrette sauce with lemon, lime, salt, pepper, all that good stuff. Also clean out the oven in case we get a ginormous bear or something. Oh, good distribution so good. This will be so fine. It's like, here's the thing. I live out in the middle of the sticks, folks. I live out in the area where there are trees and forests and rivers and lakes. There's green stuff everywhere. And
So
yes,
you know what coon tastes like.
I have not had raccoon, unfortunately. I mean, my dad's had deer.
Have you had possum?
No, we do not have possum, although there is one. There's one sulking around my yard right now. I'm not going to think about eating it because I like wild animals. I like, having them around the house. So, like, the thing is that this, her merch is okay. It will attract a certain demographic. She might not necessarily like that demographic, but it's money in her pocket.
Yeah,
She's going to get everyone who's 5150 certified.
Uh-huh.
Oh, Jesus. Yeah, I know
and those young demographics actually likes furries.
Yeah, it's a thing she's attracting.
I mean, because here's the thing: she's worn fox ears. She's worn fox ears on her ring entrance before. So they're gonna go with the fox direction, and Vince will go after anyone's pockets at this point. Satan cares not for what you do in your pastime.
I have a question.
Yeah.
Has any, with that, you just brought something up.
Mm-hmm.
Look at Nettie and the goddamn cat ears.
Yeah, I was just about to mention.
I know, but I think even the furries are going to steer clear of that crazy cat lady.
Oh, jeez. Seriously though, what's up with WWE and all the furry stuff? I mean,
well, the thing is that because of the fact that it's the PG era now, and because of the fact that they can't exclusively use sex appeal to try and market to their audience, they're trying to be subtle and sneaky about it. Although
subtle and sneaky about this,
it's like watching a burglar trip over every single alarm, crash headfirst into the glass display with a diamond in it, and then accidentally set the stove off in the kitchen, causing a 5-alarm fire in the museum basement. then accidentally crash into 15 cop cars.
Hold on. Now they cross into something that is a subculture of a alternative lifestyle in furries, for Christ's sake.
Yeah,
well, they'll take money from anybody, Taker. You're going to take money from anybody because they're a greedy multinational company at this point. Satan cares not.
Basically, this is a publicly traded company, Taker, but remember, it's a capitalist publicly traded company.
It's a capitalist publicly traded company.
And they're trying to appeal to they're trying to appeal to every demographic at this point. Like our next match,
I just don't know what the LGBT is going to say about this.
They don't care.
And
the BDSM community, for that matter, they're going to be like, "What the hell?"
They might care.
Taker, they don't listen.
I mean, seriously, every single subculture, niche, and community is still as confused as ever as to what the heck those crazy maniacs over at Samford are doing at this point.
Yeah.
Because Vince McMahon can out-crazy them all. His creative team can out-crazy them all. Heck, some of these wrestlers can out-crazy them all.
Podcast of mine, Bobby Heenan said it.
Mm-hmm.
You have 20 to 25 years of ideas.
Mm-hmm.
Vince, you've run out.
Sure.
Yep. Time to move on.
No, he's not moving on. He's trying to milk every single money that he can grab, even though he has no idea.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So, in other demographics he's trying to cover is the Cruiserweight division, which has 2 matches on this card. Let's cover the tag team match first with Cedric Alexander and Rich Swann versus the Brian Kendrick and a freshly turned heel gentleman, Jack Gallagher. Okay, Sal, what are your thoughts on this match?
It will be fine. I mean, I like Jack. I like Swan. I like Alexander. Kendrick's pretty good. I don't watch 205 Live much at all, so I don't have much to say other than this is a match that will happen and it might be good, but might not be. It might get 6 minutes.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know what to say. This is the issue with this, most of this card. Like I said on the show before, a lot of these matches are just slapdash thrown together.
Mm-hmm.
This is a very slapdash thrown together card. What do they want me to say? Here's the thing. WWE was actually smart in this. I can't really criticize any of these matches because I don't have anything to say.
You're trying to burn out your MP points on Rage and stuff on the Hell in a Cell show, though. So
I got a question for you, Sal. Are you telling me WWE shut you up?
Sort of, yes. I don't like. There's only so many different ways I can say this match is thrown together and has little to no build.
Oh my God!
I know.
What today is the 20th?
Yeah.
That Sal Cusmano has been shut up by the WWE. My God.
Yeah. I don't know what.
21st.
Oh yes, the 21st in your area. It's the 20th for us here in the States, sadly.
Yep. Anyway.
Yeah, I know.
And it's almost 4 o'clock in the morning for you, right, MDS?
It's not 4 o'clock in the morning. You jackass, it's 3.
Oh man.
Close enough, damn it. or as most Japanese say, close enough.
Oh Jesus.
Okay.
Okay, Kicker, what is your thoughts on this tag match?
It will be a match that will last about 7 to 8 minutes, and the heels will probably win by shenanigans.
Possible. Coolness.
Cool.
And so, MDS, what are your thoughts on this match?
Okay. Considering that I actually kind of sort of watch 205 Live on a slightly regular basis, this is more or less, I see this is more or less as a start up back again of the feud between Cedric Alexander, Rich Swann, and the Brian Kendrick versus Jack Gallagher. Because remember, I think in last month, I believe it was last month, Gallagher turned heel and attacked Alexander while in a match with, while Cedric Alexander was in a match with the Brian Kendrick. He came out, turned heel, and then attacked Alexander. After that, we thought we'd see the whole story unfolding about what is the motivation, but all of it is hampered by the arrival of Enzo Amore in the cruiserweight division overall. And that trumps the whole story altogether. And right now, we're just seeing a startup back again of the feud. I agree, the buildup is not there, but I think it's because they're just restarting this all over again just to get another story going, rather than just Enzo Amore being the champion and now being the challenger to the champion that is Kalisto. So, well, I agree. It will be a match that happens. It would be a good match. It will potentially not be a good match, but at least it's not going to be terrible. Because we both know that all four of these guys are talented. So, that's my take on it.
I mean, in all honesty, I'm actually looking forward to this match. Because here's the thing. They've been trying to tell the Brian Kendrick evil mentor story for ages now. They've tried it with several different wrestlers, and this is another variation of that evil mentor story, where he's now corrupted Jack Gallagher into fighting against Rich Swann and Cedric Alexander because he feels that he is the best cruiserweight on this roster. Alexander has recently returned from injury, and so has Swann. Both of them have been dealing with nagging injuries over the last year. Cedric had an ACL issue, and Swann has been dealing with a foot injury on and off throughout the year. I feel like this will be a solid, well-worked match. Probably will go between 7 and 10 minutes, depending on the circumstances of this card, because there's some stuff that's still up in the air at this point because, again, of aforementioned things that might be happening or may not be happening that will severely detriment the TLC card overall this Sunday. I think this will be fine. I think this will be a decent match. So, you want to cover the other Cruiserweight Division match? Kalisto versus Enzo Amore?
Sure.
Why not?
All right. Kalisto versus Enzo Amore. Kalisto recently won the shiny thing away from Enzo Amore on a match on Raw. They actually decided to broadcast this on Monday Night Raw. Now, the circumstances behind this particular story are very strange and murky because apparently Neville not being put in the rematch in this match, he apparently didn't show up. So Neville might be gone from the company.
He left.
Huh?
He was there and he left.
Okay, so he was there and he left. So Neville is possibly now gone from WWE. We still don't know the murky situation about that, even a week later, as we talked about last week on the show. So we're going to focus instead on Kalisto and Enzo Amore. Enzo is the challenger, and he has somehow managed to unify the heel division of the Cruiserweight division against the Lucha champion, probably because Kalisto annoyed them so much with his Lucha chant. And
Okay.
because of course, or he said lucha things, which inevitably causes the man to be thrown into a dumpster and thrown off the stage by Braun Strowman. So, well, we have this match. So, Taker, what are your thoughts on this one?
I would like to see Kalisto go over, shut Enzo up permanently.
Mhm.
But we also know that WWE and Vincent Kennedy McMahon wants to build the Cruiserweight division around Enzo, which in my opinion is a mistake. Enzo is a lot of talk, but no substance. He can't save himself from himself. That's just my opinion on Enzo. I mean, Enzo has not learned to shut his mouth when he needs to keep it shut. Yeah, I know MDS. I know. We've talked about this countless times on our show. Enzo is a motor mouth that doesn't know when to shut up. He can't write. He writes checks that he can't cash. And remember, he was physically removed by Roman Reigns off of a bus.
Of course.
Because he would not shut up. So there's that. Dumped on 205 Live. Yeah, he has a lot of cred with the universe, but the thing about it is that even the universe is getting tired of him and his mouth. So eventually he's going to have to change himself, become more humble, and learn that the business does not take too kindly to people who don't shut up.
Sure.
That's just my opinion. My opinion, I want Kalisto to go over, but it's going to be Enzo. And I will be down at the local store buying beer and brats.
So, coolness. So, Sal, what is your thoughts on this match?
Yeah, I mean, it'll be what it'll be, I guess. I mean, Enzo is challenging for the belt that Kalisto won. I'm expecting Enzo to win it back, mainly because I see this whole title run as a tribute to Eddie, because that's when Kalisto won the title. And it's like, all right, you won it on Eddie's birthday. You held it for a bit. Time to drop it back. Kind of like the Tozawa thing at SummerSlam. It'll be that. But, you know, I will say,
why didn't he win a main roster title?
Who, Kalisto?
Yeah.
I don't know. Probably because they don't see him as that high.
Wait,
the Cruiserweight.
wait. Didn't Kalisto and Sin Cara win a main roster title? Right?
No, I think they won the NXT tag titles.
They did, but Kalisto has won the U.S. title before.
Oh,
yeah,
right.
true. That's right.
Yeah. So, you know, it's weird, but, you know, I will say Kalisto should probably not cut promos.
Lucha things.
Well, no, it isn't even just that. Like when he said, like, because after TLC, I will become the Cruiserweight champion. It's like, my dude, you're already Cruiserweight champion.
Wait, did he forget that he's the Cruiserweight champion during a promo?
Yes.
He actually forgot.
I mean,
he actually forgot.
Oh my god.
I mean, I respect I like the fire he has. He has a pretty good fire and intensity, but it's like when he talks about it, it's like, dude, calm down. I don't understand you. You're not making any sense. You know, it's like he gets too fired up, kind of like me.
Yeah. Well.
Yeah, true. I'll give you that, Sal.
Yeah, but you know.
Okay.
So what do you? So anyway, so you're expecting Kalisto or Enzo to win in this one, Sal?
Enzo, I think this is my jadedness showing, but I think this whole cruiserweight title reign for Kalisto was the tribute to Eddie, and it's going to end now.
I'm not sure. We'll see where it goes. So, MDS, what are your thoughts on this match?
I'll agree on you, Fizz, on this one, because the biggest narrative coming into this match with the Cruiserweight Championship on the line is the shadow of Neville lingering over this two matchup between Enzo and Kalisto. And yes, Taker, I also agree, because we've already talked about this at length. Enzo has been doing the Cruiserweight division some good. I always say this because, of course, I'm part of the media, so I'm part of the media background. So I'll always say that any kind of publicity is good publicity, be it good publicity, be it good publicity, or be it a bad publicity. And Enzo Amore being there moves the needle for the Cruiserweight division. One. That being said, I also would agree that there's a lot of murkiness and a lot of things that we don't know behind the scenes of the Cruiserweight division going in. Because let's face it, the biggest news that came out from the Cruiserweight division this week was Neville unexpectedly leaving, basically taking his ball and went back home. So I'm scared. I'm worried that sets a precedence for the matchup as a whole, because people won't be concentrating on the match between both Kalisto and Enzo Amore, no matter how much they hate Enzo Amore or how much they wanted to support Kalisto. It's always going to be a shadow of Neville lingering about there, even if they try not to bring it up too much.
True.
I think in this situation, it's a bad look for Neville because of the fact that he suddenly left without any sort of warning or anything like that. And to see all of this happening and to see all of the mystery surrounding the Cruiserweight division now, you just had your top two guys who were on your WrestleMania show leave. Admittedly, Austin Aries is Austin Aries, and the guy can be catapulted to the Bermuda Triangle for all I care. But Neville being this unprofessional is kind of concerning, because I'm going, you do realize this is going to affect the rest of the Cruiserweight division when you do this, right? Instead of doing the whole, okay, well, I'll do my 90 days, don't leave. Instead,
here's the thing, though. Neville was on the main roster when he got injured.
Yeah.
He was, after he got better, after he got well, he was put on the Cruiserweight. Do you think that maybe that Neville wanted to be back on the main roster, and the writers and Vince and everybody else said, no, you're going to be in the Cruiserweights and you're going to have to live with it?
Okay, that's fine. I mean, basically, in that situation, Neville had to realize that every single spot on that side of the roster, on the main roster, was filled. Unless somebody goes out with injury, either Finney or Bray or one of the other guys on that side of the roster, you're not getting moved up to the main roster just quite yet. Also, the guy went out for half a year with an injury, so their stock on him is going to be considerably lower than others. He was doing good things for the Cruiserweight division. It's all about, in this situation, being patient. Neville lacked the patience to realize that you're in a really good spot here. We're pushing you as the top of the Cruiserweight division. Why is everybody seeing this as a handicap? I know that the Cruiserweight division is its own division, and there's not a lot of play between the main roster and the Cruiserweight division at this point, because they're trying to build this. They're in year 1.5, 2 years of this 5-year plan for the Cruiserweight division. But at the same time, though, I'm thinking to myself, you're not getting squashed by Kane or Braun Strowman or Roman or the beloved Roman Reigns or any of those other guys. You're facing against guys who are your own size, that you know how to work with, and there's less risk of getting horribly injured, unless you're working with Lince Dorado, in which case, good luck. So in this situation, I'm kind of confused as to why he decided to do this, because, again, it affects everybody else around you when you pull a stunt like this, because now the Eye of Sauron is suddenly focused its attention on the Cruiserweight division when you didn't need the Eye of Sauron focused on you. Yes, we've heard the stories that Vince is helping out with the Cruiserweight division as far as the writing department goes, and he's actually managed to craft a pretty solid division thus far. Yes, I know, it's Satan, and he's doing good writing. Pigs will fly in the sky right now.
Scare me.
Go quick, hide. Go quick, hide.
I'm scared.
I mean, the thing is, right now for this match,
I'm waiting for the nuclear bomb to detonate and burn like
burn everything to the ground, as Seth Rollins likes to put it.
No, not. No, I'm trying to think. The character, the woman character in Terminator. What's her name?
Sarah
Connors.
Yeah, I'm trying. I'm the one hanging on the fence, going, "No, this can't be happening. No, no."
Well, hey, sometimes a broken clock is right. Sometimes, which in this case, we have Kalisto, who can't cut a promo, but does lucha things, and Enzo Amore, who's Enzo Amore. We have a match. We'll see how it goes.
Fizz, I like my lucha. Don't get me wrong. I've been a fan of lucha for several years. And
but Kalisto, what Kalisto does isn't lucha, is what you're going to say.
Exactly. The one who does more lucha is Gran Metalik.
Yeah. Where has he been?
He's been on the main event.
Which is a death sentence to anybody's career in WWE.
Sure, but at the same time, the guy needs to brush up on the promo skills, English wise. And we also the thing is that they learned from the Sin Cara experiment that bringing up Mexican luchadors immediately up to the main roster is also kind of a death sentence, especially when they don't know how to work an American style match. They're used to working trio.
Unless they sign Pentagon Dark.
Unless they sign Pentagon Dark, who's had like about 1.5 years, 2 years of working the U.S. independent scene, so now he's more familiar with it.
Please, WWE.
And good luck with that.
Please,
good luck with that,
WWE.
because Taker's going to lose his pants. Every single pants out the window.
Sure.
Please, WWE. Please. Sign the Dark. Please sign Pentagon Dark. Please.
See, here now we get to an interesting issue here. Would you want your favorite to go to WWE, knowing how often they misuse and mistreat characters and how oftentimes after they're in WWE, they're worse off than when they came in? Would you still want that? I mean, they probably get paid more.
Damn you, Sal.
Sal, he's going from AAA, which is an absolute horror show, to WWE, which is a less of a horror show, but still a horror show in the.
But the thing about it is, he's going from AAA, which is like, class AA ball in baseball, to WWE, which is Major League.
Yeah.
And the only thing that I could see that would hold him up would be his promos, because his English is terrible.
Yeah.
But the thing about it is that his style in the ring would fit so well.
It would.
In the either in the cruiserweights, because I think he's 190 or 200. And he would fit
207. He's actually 2 pounds heavier, thank God.
Okay, on the main roster, how about a match between Pentagon Dark and Shinsuke Nakamura?
That would be awesome.
That'd be interesting.
As long as he would be allowed to use his package pile driver. That is the key.
I think he would probably be allowed to use it because he knows how to use it safely.
That is the key, because strength, because in the WWE, any pile driver has to be approved by them.
Sure, yeah, and it's understandable as to why they want to have all the pile drivers approved.
After the Stone Cold broken neck incident, yes.
In 1997, they instituted a policy where the pile drivers had to be approved beforehand for use.
Right. Could you imagine, let's say, Shinsuke adopting the Flaming Hammer?
Burning Hammer, you mean.
Showing...
Yeah.
What's that?
Burning Hammer, you mean, not Flaming Hammer.
Burning Hammer, showing that he could actually execute it safely where no one gets hurt.
Mhm.
Yeah.
I mean,
True, because
the thing is with Pentagon is that the thing he would probably be interested in signing with WWE because then that way he would probably not have to worry about getting his passport stolen at the border.
True. When his
that
bag
story
was
again
stolen,
with
yes, I
Pentagon
heard
Dark.
about that.
Yes, I do.
I mean, that's probably the one hang up that he's going to have is that incident he had earlier in the year where he had to miss a PWG booking because of that. But, you know, that could be easily straightened out legal wise.
Yeah. I mean,
With the hundreds, or should I say thousands of lawyers that WWE has, that wouldn't have been an issue.
Yep.
that would. But here's another last thing, Sal. At least he's moving to a better amount of pay, which helps for him, and a lot more exposure rather than a AAA and Lucha Underground. Of course, I'm not gonna knock on Lucha Underground because they have a niche. They have a niche audience of their own, and of course, they have their own kind of sets of exposures.
Jesus, Kyrie Sane faced him one-on-one and got her arm broke.
Yeah.
Storyline wise, but it's a better move for him. Let's say on a financial note, economical note, and on a safety kind of note as well. So that's a positive. The negative is, of course, we're going to dispute on the negatives a lot with booking, storyline wise. How are they going to play Pentagon Dark's character wise? All those kinds of things. But to me, I think the best thing is that the joy of yourself having one of your favorites from the indies coming to the WWE onto the mainstream broadcast network. That's an attraction in and of itself. What happens afterwards is another guess altogether.
Well, the package pile driver can be sold as a Michinoku too.
They already did sold the Michinoku driver, remember?
Yes.
Piper Niven did that
during the Mae Young.
Yep. Anyway.
So, next up on the list, let's cover the 2 women's matches remaining on this card. First up, Emma, we wish you the best of luck. But unfortunately, you're going to be slaughtered to pieces by Asuka, who's debuting on the main roster for the first time, after she slaughtered the NXT women's division for 510 days as their champion. So, yes, the Empress of Destruction has arrived on the main roster WWE, and Emma decided to be the first victim. Like watching a slasher film, except the slasher in this case is terrifying. Asuka is actually terrifying.
Can I speak on this because I'm drooling all over the place?
Sure. Go ahead. You go first, man.
Wait, where's the drool bucket? Where's the drool bucket?
I need help. I need a drool bucket. Damn it.
Go ahead, say it.
Sorry, Fizz.
Okay, so you're excited for this match. I know you've been excited for this match for months.
Yes, I've been waiting, and I have been wanting my goddess to make her debut, but
the build has not been terribly good.
No, it hasn't.
There you go. And here's your poop bucket. Here's the drool bucket. Thank you very much.
So continue.
Thank you. The thing about it is that yes, Emma won the right to lose to Asuka, but they have done nothing to promote the match. Meaning, every time they start talking about Asuka to Emma, something else comes up. They have not had an interview with Asuka talking about the match. When we had Shinsuke Nakamura coming to the SmackDown roster, they built that beautifully. The Raw writers have not done this with Asuka. I'm sorry. She deserves better than this. Deserves better than what she's been getting. Damn it.
The drool bucket is right over there.
Yeah, I know it is. She deserves as good as, if not better, a better build up than Shinsuke got, and that's saying a lot because Shinsuke is a hell of a performer, hell of a wrestler when he shows up.
Sure.
The difference between Shinsuke and Asuka is that Asuka always shows up.
Mm-hmm.
She will demand the absolute best from everybody on the roster.
Mm-hmm.
If you don't give her your best, she will make you pay.
Because
And
nobody is ready for her.
no, that's the thing. No one is ready for her.
Mhm.
She has set the bar so high
Mhm.
that no one can eclipse it. And that's the issue.
We now suddenly have somebody.
I don't see anybody on the main roster able to compete with her because their skill set is so much lower than hers.
Mhm.
She has gone against men
Mhm.
and won.
Mhm.
Has any of these women on the Raw or SmackDown roster done that? No.
Oh, actually, yes. Sasha did on the Indies.
Number one. And number two, let's not forget that even though it's a intergender kind of match, Nikki Bella and John Cena did it against Maurice and The Miz. On a
But
technicality.
that's
Still.
beside the point. That's beside the point. The thing about it is that had they gone head up, and here's where you brought something up to me, MDS.
Oh,
Only the Japanese women can deal with the men on a similar level. You look at, I'm going back to Lucha Underground when the Black Lotus Triad came out.
Yeah.
Against Pentagon.
Yeah.
And you had, I can't remember their names they used, but Kairi Sane was one of them.
Yeah.
And the final woman,
Kairi Sane was Doku, Hitokiri, and Yurei. Those are the three.
and the last one, I can't think of her, I can't remember. The last one defeated Harikiri. Defeated
Hitokiri, let's just put it as Io Shirai. Io Shirai
was the one that beat.
Yoshirai was the one who defeated Pentagon.
Sure.
Yes.
Okay. The women, the Japanese women are at a much higher standard.
Sure, they're on a much higher standard because they've been trained since they were teenagers to work in professional wrestling matches. Because of the fact that the shelf life for a Japanese Joshi wrestler is much less than a American wrestler or Canadian wrestler who will work into their 30s. Although this has been changing over the last 10, 15 years. Naomi Toyota is actually having her last year in professional wrestling at this point.
And she's about what, 40 plus, 50, I think.
Yeah.
Yes. Okay. Correct.
Well, look at Bull Nakano.
Well, she retired. She retired during the era and retired in 2005 officially when she'd been out of the game for many years. Aja Kong is a better example. She actually still is wrestling.
Right, and she's what, 42?
Yeah.
She is 47. She is 47.
Okay, but here's the thing: the Japanese women wrestlers are 5 times American wrestlers.
Sure, I can see your point there, but I do think that the American wrestlers will be able to keep up with Asuka in this particular case because I think Sasha's on her level. I think that Bayley's on her level. I think Becky's on her level.
Bayley lost twice.
Yes, Bayley did lose twice, but then again, we are talking about a scripted wrestling thing, whereas
understood.
Whereas I feel as though that if they do tweaks to Bayley's character, e.g. the Bayley heel turn that both of us have been praying to the deities for, there may be hope that Asuka's undefeated streak will probably end fairly soon in 2018, I think.
Well, here's my ultimate booking. Okay. Sasha or Asuka at Royal Rumble wins the title from whoever, I don't know. Bayley is turned heel against Sasha because it's time.
Sure, it's time.
At WrestleMania, Bayley and Asuka meet. And unfortunately, as much as I love Asuka, Bayley goes over and takes the title as a heel.
Yeah.
And yes, MDS, I know that's difficult to hear from me, but that's how I see it. It would be perfect.
Okay.
Well, also, we need to get rid of this undefeated streak at this point. Finally get rid of this undefeated streak. And that's the best payoff at that point would be for Bayley to win the title as a heel against Asuka, or have Sasha win it, and then the next night on Raw have to deal with an very angry Bayley who then beats her for the title. So that's a possibility.
I can live with that.
So, yeah, we actually have some stakes and some interesting characters in the Raw Women's division now, which has been dealing with some issues lately. Although we did find out that Nia Jax will be on Raw next week. There had been some alleged issues that Nia Jax had taken a personal leave for some things, but now she's going to be back on Raw next week. So that's been all cleared up. And she's also going to be on the European tour. So, which
is good for her because Asuka or Nia needs to be around.
Yeah, around for the matchups and around for the different feuds and second-tier feuds and storylines that they probably have got planned for the rest of the women's division. So,
Biz, I got a question for you.
Yeah?
Is there something you need to set up?
No.
No, not particularly. No, not yet. Anyway,
not yet.
Here's the thing.
Okay,
Here's the thing.
I guess you're going to make me suffer. Okay, that's fine.
No, because MDS and Sal still need to talk about this match. So MDS, what is your thoughts on this match?
We were listening so attentively about how Taker's actually gushing about the emergence of Asuka. Yeah, I think we can agree on the point that the build up to the story isn't really build up as we expected it to. Of course, it's Asuka coming in. So it should be an exciting spectacle. It should have a big match feel, and yet there's no big match feel. And of course, we can definitely get the gist that these two can throw up an awesome match. We've already seen that happen when Asuka and Emma met up back in NXT, of course. And but here's the thing, though. I think with the emergence of Asuka coming into Raw, it puts all the women's division, not just on Raw but on SmackDown, on notice. Because here's the thing, like Taker said, when Asuka comes in, it elevates. She gives a whole other meaning to the term elevate the level of competitiveness in the ring. She demands the best. And like you said, there's always a chance that there's always people who could come up to Asuka wrestling wise. Bayley could do it. Sasha Banks could do it. Becky could potentially do it because these two have not met. So it puts the rest of the WWE women's roster on notice, because when she demands the best, you have to give her the best. Because if she doesn't, she'll really tell you that she wants you to be the best. So in a sense, I think with her coming in could help ignite the women's division back again, especially on Raw. It's just that the build-up hasn't really gone up to snuff just yet. So, yeah.
Coolness.
To me, it's fun. It's just that the build-up wasn't there.
So, Sal, what are your thoughts on this match?
Yeah, don't really have anything else to add. I mean, the match will be fun. It'll be fine, but the build-up wasn't there. I just that's the thing with a lot of these matches. Like I said, there'll be decent matches, but there's nothing there.
There's nothing there. Yes, there's nothing there. Well, actually, I think there is something here. I think that this match will be okay.
Of course.
I think that, that Emma will have a good match. I mean, the problem with Emma is everybody seems so high on her that, Emma's great. Emma's the person who will lead the charge. Emma's a second-tier wrestler. She's a good performer, but she suffers from LSS, which is Lance Storm syndrome, and that she focuses more on the people in the back than the actual audience that's right in front of her. This is the fourth variation of her "look at me" gimmick that I am so tired of at this point, because there's nothing original or interesting about it at this point, because she's gone through 3 to 4 iterations of that same gimmick. So now she has to face against Asuka, a person she's faced against before.
And lost.
Yes, lost. She lost And these two have just tried to destroy each other before, and this will be an interesting first test for Asuka and Emma. Let's see how they do in this situation. And
Like I said, Emma, what is the over under on Emma with a bloody nose?
it's probably going to be over, which will probably satisfy those who like color in their matches. But I feel that it will be over, honestly. But we'll see where it goes from there. Yes.
Yeah, and I also especially love the notion that, well, Emma won the right to get squished by Asuka.
Yes.
That was beautiful.
It's like watching one of the lower level Godzilla monsters face against King Ghidorah.
But why would you want to? Why would you want to win, only to get killed by Asuka? Because we already know, all of us know, the four of us know, no one is ready for Asuka.
Yep.
At least not yet, until they figure her out. But regardless,
Has anybody been able to figure her out yet?
Yeah, somebody will eventually, but because it's the world of wrestling and whatnot. But our second match is going to be an interesting clash between the other monster in the women's division, Alexa Bliss, and Mickie James, the most veteran individual left on the roster at this point. So they have a match for the Raw Women's Championship. MDS, what is your thoughts on this match?
Well, we have 5 Feet of Fury meets veteran yet again. I'm sure that the match will be okay. It's just that I don't really dislike the whole storyline of the situation where you're making fun of the veteran who has tons of experience just because she's old. I mean, she's 37. She's not that old. She's still
38.
quite younger than... Oh, she's 38. She's younger than AJ Styles, for heaven's sake. I mean, but I'll give credit. I'll give credit to this. Among all the 7 matches that we had on this pay-per-view, this is the match with the most emphasis on the story. So, on one end, I won't say I dislike the whole build-up to the match because they did it well enough just to gain my attention. On the other end, on the other side of the coin, I don't really like it because, well, you're going on the notion that you're playing to an ageist trope. And I'm not saying that I'm an ageist or something like that. It's just that the storyline has been used a couple of times. And hopefully it turns out better. I might be wrong, and I might be proven wrong, and the match will be better for it. But let's just wait and see on that one.
Okay, Taker, what's your thoughts on this match?
It's time for Mickie James to have her gold watch moment, in my opinion. I mean, the gold watch moment, the gold watch reign has worked to a point on SmackDown with
Natalia.
Yeah, with Natalia. And yes, I know it's against popular belief in the IWC. And yes, Sal, deal with it. You can grump and groan all you want. I'm going to take my shots while I can. Because you know I have something that I have to do later.
And now you giggle.
Yeah, you can laugh evilly all you want, you little But anyway, I mean, why not give her a 7th ring? She was there with the women's title, the Divas title. Yes, I know that is a foul word.
But you know,
on mine and MDS's podcast, you mentioned Divas, and Sal knows this. It's a $20 fine.
Sure. But continuing on, you know, you are actually looking forward to this match.
I am. I want to see Mickie James beat the living bejesus out of Alexa because, you know, yes, I'm 53. I am old school.
Yep.
It is time for some of the old school people to reign supreme. You know, go back in your history. Go back to some of the old school stuff. Look at the people who brought you to where you were. where you are.
Mm-hmm.
And they deserve as much credit, if not more, than you do. You did not make them what they are. You didn't make them what they are. They made you what you are.
Okay.
That's just my opinion.
Coolness. It's an interesting thought process. So you're honest, you're looking forward to this match and you want Mickie James to win.
Exactly. I say the match is going to be about 10, 12 minutes in length, and unfortunately, Alexa's going to win somehow.
But hey, that will probably set her up for possibly getting annihilated by your Empress of Destruction, Asuka. But that will be a very interesting giant
Royal
monster.
Rumble or WrestleMania?
Possibly Royal Rumble. I'm trying to figure out what was on WWE's pay-per-view schedule, but that might be the possible route.
Yeah, I think that would be the possible route. Best possible route ever.
Okay, so let's see here. So, that was your thoughts on the James Alexa match. Sal, what is your thoughts on this match?
I don't know anymore. Just it will happen. Like here's my review for every single match. It will happen. I mean, like,
go out on a limb, Sal.
All right,
you coward, go out on a limb. I did, and I lost. Okay, remember that.
Oh, jeez, no! You're sending me mixed messages here, man. Do you want me to go out on a limb and lose, or go out on a limb and win?
Both and neither.
Sal. Basically, Sal, this is Taker flinging poo at you while trying to praise you as well.
I know.
So continue on.
But pretty much the match itself, it'll be decent. I don't think it'll be anything amazing. I mean, Alexa does better character work than ring work, although she's not a bad in-ring worker. And Mickie James,
She sucks.
she's not terrible. She's decent, but she has lost a step or two.
She sucks.
Let's just mute him for a while. Right now, you're already taking the soundboard out. Let's take something.
Okay, so you're thinking that this is going to be Alexa going over Mickie.
Yeah, and like MDS said, the build. This has had the most story to it. I just don't like the story, but at least it has one. So, it'll be what it'll be. I know.
Yeah.
I know, and even then, it also makes me wonder: would I ever have something have a story and have that story be other shit, or have something with no story whatsoever?
Oh, are you trying to tell me Alexa Bliss is equal to Miz now?
No.
Stop flinging poo. Stop flinging poo and complimenting people.
So in this situation, we have Agent Treachery versus Youth and Skill, which is a classic story that's used in wrestling sometimes. We have Alexa Bliss, who is the overconfident champion who believes herself to be the very best in the Raw Women's division, despite the pack of angry savages that say otherwise. We have Mickie James, who's the one veteran who wasn't put into the Slaughterfest for the right to face Asuka. So we have this match, which will be Agent Treachery versus Youth and Skill. The Pixie Hulk will try and decimate Mickie James like she has decimated all of her other opponents. Mickie James, however, has Agent Treachery on her side. This is an interesting build, an interesting story, and one that I personally have really enjoyed. And honestly, I feel like this will be a decent match. Once again, it will probably go about 10 to 12 minutes. We'll see where it goes. Will Mickie James be able to retain her 2006 to 2009 form, or will we see again another weird sort of 2.5 3-star match from her again? Will Alexa Bliss be able to do well against an opponent that isn't Sasha Banks, Bayley, or the upcoming match against the Empress of Destruction? Who will be champion coming into Survivor Series? Will it be Mickie James, who will have to face against the Empress of Destruction herself, or will it be Alexa Bliss? Retaining the championship and having to face against the Horde of Barbarians. So we'll see where that goes from here, because this is once again another giant monsters all-out attack thing where Alexa tries to prove that she is the mightiest monster of them all. We'll see where it goes from here. Now, the next match on our list...
Fizz.
Sure.
There's something else you need to set up, because I got to get this off my chest before I die.
Oh, okay. So let's do the Shield match versus the...
No.
No. Oh, okay.
The wager that was made.
Okay, the wager that was made, which was a part of this next segment, which is the Shield segment. So you lost a bet a couple weeks ago. You made a bet with Sal about the Miz, and
It had to do with Shane McMahon.
Yep.
Versus Kevin Owens.
And Shane McMahon jumped off the Cell.
And the final was that. Oh, God. You set this up. I can't.
Okay. Well, Taker lost the bet, and he has to say the following, which is something Miz-related.
Sal?
Yes, my friend.
I love the Miz.
Yes. Da, 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 da.
And I have immediately muted Taker's Minion's microphone to make sure that he goes and relaxes for a little bit while he continues to contend with the thought of having to say this word both on this podcast and on Shooting the Breeze about a couple hours ago.
Yeah, he did.
Because saying I love the Miz is not necessarily the best for your health.
It is
Surgeon General's warning, after all.
And my bucket is full. But
Yay! Woohoo! Da, da.
Let me preface the whole thing. You could have called me to listen and moderate to the deal, but you didn't. And this is what happened.
This is
what to say twice.
I will accept ownership of my faults, but I will still say it is a tainted win because Sammy interfered.
Oh, yes, the beloved Sami Zayn, beloved Sami Zayn, folks. People are now shocked in amazement because of the fact Sami Zayn now has an official heel turn. We didn't really talk about this very much that last week, but oh my God, this has been such a wonderful, happy, glorious revelation. Sami Zayn being evil?
Are you saying, Fizz, you love this?
Yes. This has been a great. This is a great character.
I thought you were my friend.
Look, dude, I've been wanting a Sami Zayn heel turn for years now. I basically have officially called him a heel for years now because of how obnoxious and the obnoxious antics that this guy has done.
I thought you were my friend.
Oh, yes, you are.
I thought you were.
But if this leads to a Kevin Owens face turn when Sami inevitably stabs the man in the back.
I see that happening.
Because Kevin's confused. Kevin's confused as to why suddenly is the guy I've tried to murder about 15 times suddenly wants to be my friend. Again.
Oh. And I think I'm going to alienate Taker as well, because considering the fact...
you want to alienate me now?
Sally, you're going to be happy because, well, you're going to be twice as happy right now because, well, your ship, your 1-2 pairing, has been reunited back again. Congratulations! Throw your confetti in the air.
Yes.
All shippers unite. Kevin Owens and Sami Zayn are now a couple.
I am going to send Jason Voorhees to see you, Sal.
Aw.
Wait, let's face it.
Jason Voorhees and who is it? Freddy Krueger.
And they'll probably have nightmares. And both of them will probably have nightmares. Sal will probably unleash some kind of horrific, terrifying anime and will scare the bejesus out of both of them.
Yep.
I agree.
So, yeah, this is such a great thing to have happen with the Sami Zayn, Kevin Owens tag team, which they managed to beat Randy Orton and Shinsuke Nakamura via underhanded means. Shane is going to return from the dead next week on SmackDown, though, so we'll see what happens from there. Let me think here. Let's see. We're
talking the Shield and...
Well, before that, let's talk about the other match that may or may not happen due to the aforementioned plague. See, there's a plague of meningitis hitting the Raw roster at this point. Bray Wyatt, Bo Dallas, and allegedly JoJo Offerman are all ill with meningitis. There's also apparently a food poisoning issue hitting the SmackDown side of the roster. AJ Styles has a stomach bug, and Kevin Owens had to go home for personal reasons. Which means that the 10 plagues of Egypt has hit the WWE main roster. Vince, why did you open that tomb?
Yeah. Well,
He-
see,
he-
the question regarding
Vince
which Tom,
opened the
question is-
tomb. Vince opened the tomb of Tune Uncommon.
yeah.
Again.
And we all know what happened to
Whoa.
everyone who opened the tomb of Tune Uncommon. Most of them
I
are
think-
dead.
Well,
Yeah.
here's the thing, though. I think that is the place where Vince actually found that book of new phrases and new buzzwords that he found and used it on the WWE shows. So this is what's happening to all
So
of this.
the possibility of one match being knocked off this card is the Demon in its new pumpkin form versus Sister Abigail.
The Great Pumpkin versus the Queen in Drag. Okay, let's go there.
Let's go.
Fizzy.
Well, it depends entirely on if this match happens or not, because Bray's ill.
Oh God, please let this match not happen. I never thought illness might save me from a match and I'd be happy about it. Holy crap.
Well,
It-
here's the
it's-
thing, though. Go ahead first. You go first, Al.
I was just gonna say it's gonna be bad. I mean, I am so over this Bray Wyatt creepy voice distortion thingy. Finn looking like Fizzy, I'm sure you'll get this. Finn looking like Pumpkin, the King of Ghosts.
No. It's the Great Pumpkin, Charlie Brown.
Yes.
That's another comment. But here's a precedent that I could suggest on this. If Bray Wyatt is ill and could not make it to Tables, Ladders, and Asuka,
Please.
here's the thing. Could it set up to an actual Sister Abigail appearance?
Mm.
And I'm not saying Bray Wyatt appearing in drag. Actual Sister Abigail.
But who?
Or, well, I've said it and I've said it again. Of course, the obvious choice is the one who actually tweeted the message to Bray Wyatt, that Fateful Raw, Sage Beckett, who has who has tweeted
Shaman powers.
Yeah. Witchy powers or shaman powers, whichever you want it to do. My personal long shot, and this is a clear long shot, is Paige.
I don't think she fits the gimmick all that well, though.
I think she has to look
I
for
mean-
it, and I think she could. But the biggest issue, and like I mentioned before, would be people know Paige. They've seen Paige already. It'd kind of be weird. Like you'd have to go with all like the whole demonic possession thing, which you know.
Again, like I
Then
said,
again,
you have
I
to
see
suspend your
Paige
disbelief
Beckett.
when you suspend your disbelief on
Yeah.
that one.
I see
know.
Sage
But, yeah.
Beckett as a perfect one because of what you said.
Yeah.
But,
Because Sage Beckett basically is a fresh talent, highly untested one. We've already seen her as Rosie Lotta Love, and now she's back again, looking leaner, rather than back when she was back in TNA and GFW, just whatever the name is right now. But
TW Impact
Um,
TNA. The shithole.
whatever it's named this week.
The
But
shithole. I call it the shithole.
yeah, okay. But let's say that Bray Wyatt is in fact sick and cannot attend TLA. It's gonna set a precedence where what happens next, and probably this is WWE's way of just putting smoke and mirrors over everything. So over this, hopefully for that match.
or they
I
could do
hope
the
that-
match at Survivor Series.
or they could do the match at Survivor Series. But that would also bring up a huge question: what would they use Finn Balor for?
Well, I think that for in Finn's case, he probably will go over in this feud, and then they have him planned as the next challenger for Brock Lesnar, whether it happens at Survivor Series or whether it happens at the
Sorry, Finn.
or whether it happens at the next pay-per-view, which is, I think it's Royal Rumble after this. I don't think there's a Raw scheduled pay-per-view in between that. Whereas
Well,
Night of-
they got the joint one in November.
Yeah.
Which
Night of Champions, or is that SmackDown?
that's Night of Champions is SmackDown exclusive, and it's after Survivor Series.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
You know, and like we are MDS and myself are promoting the Survivor Series breakfast special, which we have a pretty solid lineup set up for so far.
Yep, that's going to be something that happens down the road.
I won't promote it here.
So here's it.
Make everybody go back to our show to hear it.
Los Angeles. Sorry.
So we have that. We have the Breakfast of SummerSlam coming up in a couple weeks with Taker having a panel set up already. And let me think here. We have the Finn match, Bray match. It all depends on entirely if Bray actually competes in this match. If he doesn't, then okay, they're gonna do a storyline angle of some kind or something else. And Finn might decide to do an open challenge, and he might devour Kurt Hawkins.
That would work with me.
Because
Kurt Hawkins needs to die.
Although something weird. Jeez. Wow. Something weird.
I saw him live, and no.
Just no.
No. Just no. Yeah.
He's basically he's one of reincarnations of Mikey Whipwreck.
Yeah.
Yep. Yeah, I would.
That's the guy who trained him, and Zack Ryder, and Anthony Nese.
Are you kidding
That's
me?
Tony.
Yes, Tony Nese.
Yes, he is.
Are
He
you
is the
kidding me that Mikey Whipwreck trained those guys?
Yes.
Yes.
Oh my God. No wonder they suck.
They know how to bump really good. It's just the offense part of their wrestling game that's a little off.
Well, Mikey Whipwreck is known to be bumping quite a lot, taking a lot of hits.
Although I know Mikey Whipwreck could take a lot of extreme bumps, but how long was his career? What, 3 years?
No, actually, it was longer than that. It was about 15.
15. He has a decade
Not
and a
bad.
half, I think. Okay.
A
Just
decade
a quick.
and a half. Oof.
Yeah, just a quick small segue, considering I just pulled out the full schedule. After Tables, Ladders, and Chairs, we have War Games, which is coming, followed with Survivor Series, of course.
Yeah,
Then
War
Clash of
Games
Champions.
NXT show.
Yeah. And then Clash of Champions. I don't know. I'm not really sure whether it's Raw or SmackDown.
It's
Hopefully-
SmackDown exclusive.
Yeah,
it is
SmackDown.
SmackDown.
Okay. Probably because of the turn, of course. Then you have another NXT takeover potentially before we get into Royal Rumble, and then probably we'll have an Elimination Chamber, and then moving on to WrestleMania, on and on forth. That's the original plan, because next year we don't really know what's coming up for next year. So.
Yeah, because they haven't released the schedule yet at this point. So the show has been, the TLC show hasn't just been built around Alaska executing Emma. The main match on this show is actually the reunited Shield of Dean Ambrose,
Yay.
the beloved Roman Brutus, and Seth Rollins versus the champions known as Braun Strowman, Miz, Kane, Cesaro, with his teeth fixed, hopefully, and Sheamus on a 5-on-3 handicap tables, ladders, and chairs match. So, Sal, what are your thoughts on this match?
I liked it better before Kane was added. I mean, like adding Kane to it does nothing for me. It's just like, I know they need a guy to eat the pin, and Kane serves that role, I guess. You could have thrown Axel in, I still would have liked it more, but I don't know. It just felt like they threw too much stuff to add it on to try and make it a bigger deal when it's like, when it was just those four, it seemed better.
You mean 5?
I agree.
Well, no, I mean before Kane. I mean, yeah, with just Braun, Smith, Cesaro, and Sheamus. So,
God, I want to play the Braun voice, but I won't.
No, do not have the soundboard right now. No.
It's put away. It's put away.
hooray.
This is what happens. This is what happens when you give an old man who hasn't really played a soundboard for a while now the soundboard, and he gets crazy with it.
Jeez.
I will behave. I
love-
promise.
I love you, man, but screw you on this one.
So,
After
any
I
other
said
thoughts?
I love the Miz.
Careful saying Miz 50,000 times, Taker. We want your health to be,
Yes.
Surgeon
I still
General
need my
warning:
part-
saying Miz too many times, especially if you don't like him, may be hazardous to your health.
Oh, come on.
It will cause cancer.
No, it won't.
No, it won't, but it will cause hypertension, stress, anger, rage, and Possible
I love
flashbacks to the
the
last. Possible flashbacks to the last time that friendship was involved in a tag team.
And also a little bit of
I will say this going forward.
Uh-huh.
Sal, you're my brother, and I love you. But
I
don't
do.
ever expect me to say that again.
I know.
So
The next time we make a bet, it has got to be something else.
Okay.
I thought so.
does it hopefully involve former NXT Tag Champions Johnny Gargano and Tommaso Ciampa?
Mm-mm.
Don't you bring him up.
Ooh.
Don't you dare speak
Ooh.
that name.
Ooh.
Don't you dare speak
Ooh.
that heathen's name.
Thank you, Fizz. I will make sure that the next time he has to say he loves Tommaso Ciampa.
Don't you dare bring that bastard's name up here.
Here's the thing, though.
Sal.
Oh, God.
If you lose, would you do it?
I would.
Okay. I just needed to know.
But since Ciampa isn't cleared from injury yet, we the bet can't be made or anything like that.
No,
You're gonna have to.
wait a
You're gonna have
minute.
to.
No.
Okay.
If
What?
the bet is made, that is the next set of stakes.
Mhm.
Yep. If we make a bet
Yeah,
and I
but-
lose,
but
I'll...
But here's the thing. Tommaso Ciampa needs to come back
Mhm.
for you guys to make the deal.
Aw.
No. Oh,
We'll figure out how we're gonna make this bet and what it will be later.
Yeah. So
Okay, fine.
you
Move
will
on,
say
move
that
on.
Tommaso Ciampa is the greatest of all time, right?
Sure.
I mean,
What?
You
Yes.
discuss that on a later note.
so Sal, have you finished up with the thoughts on the Shield versus Kane Strowman is thing?
The Shield will
Anything
win.
else?
Yeah.
Anything else?
No.
No, anything else? Okay.
No, not really.
Shield's gonna win, and they're gonna make. The question I have is, who's going through the ring?
Probably Strowman.
Oh, okay.
Cartoonish bumps are his thing, and going through the ring and into the center of hell is probably the best bet. Although Kane is going to be quite angry after Strowman actually accidentally crashes through his condo.
Oh
Okay.
God, what a feud that would be!
That is actually quite true.
That would be a hell of a feud for Royal Rumble.
So
Strowman versus Kane. Ooh.
Strowman versus Kane. Well, they've already faced before, but that was in the context of the Wyatt family versus Taker and Kane.
No,
So
I'm saying a one-on-one matchup between Strowman and Kane would be a hell of a match for Royal Rumble, don't you think?
there would have to compete in the Royal Rumble itself, though. So that's probably why they also brought Kane back, was for the Royal Rumble appearance and for Strowman to destroy something. So what are your thoughts on this match, Taker?
My honest thoughts?
Mhm.
Are you sure you want them?
That the Shield will go over and that Roman Reigns wins again?
I have read several people saying that the only reason the Shield reunited was to get Roman over. I don't think so.
Mhm.
Roman is, after his feud with John Cena, got over on his own.
Yeah.
This is just window dressing.
Yep.
Something that the WWE needed to compete with Monday Night Football. However, in this match, Miz is the one that's going to eat the pin, but yet he's going to say, because of his two monsters that he has, it took everything that the Shield had to defeat his team. And eventually you're going to see Roman win the IC title, making him the second Grand Slam winner of the Shield. And Roman's going to basically be the gatekeeper to the main roster, to the main event against Brock until WrestleMania, and then where he puts the IC title up against Brock and wins over to become the first quintuple winner.
Mm-hmm. So basically, Hogan versus Warrior at WrestleMania is what they're planning
that's
on
what
the
I see.
storyline.
Exactly.
And I mean, you know, and I don't see anything wrong with that booking.
Mm-hmm.
Exactly.
Because, you know, that'll put Roman in a class higher than all other superstars in the past.
Mm-hmm.
Because the Grand Slam is the ultimate right now, which is the IC, US, tag team, and WWE champion.
Mm-hmm. But then him getting the Universal Championship will make that more.
Him adding Universal champion will make him a quintuple champion.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't know what they'll call it, but he'll be above everybody else.
Mm-hmm.
This is what Vince wants.
Mm-hmm. This is what Vince wants, and this is what the rest of the company wants as well. Mm.
Exactly.
Mm-hmm.
Well, yeah. Based on what they're going through for how they're building him. So yeah, okay.
Mm-hmm.
That's agreeable.
I know it sucks to hear, but it's the truth.
Oh, I'm perfectly fine with Roman winning the Intercontinental Championship and then winning the Universal Championship. Like the past year, I've just been. It's one of those weird things. While I am a Roman Reigns fan, I'm not in the same category of, oh, Roman needs to win everything, and Roman needs to do this, and Roman needs to do that. I've been perfectly happy with what they've been doing with Roman Reigns this year. You know,
I'm a fan. I'm a Reigns mark. I'll admit it.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. And him, you know, despite the fact that I cried like a baby when he defeated Taker, it was time.
Yeah, I mean, he took a literal bazooka to Undertaker.
It hurt me. Hurt me dearly, and you remember much. And even so does MDS, because I was depressed for days.
Yeah, because Undertaker was the guy for you in your era.
Yep, and you know, it was the right guy to pass the torch to, in my opinion.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
and Taker has himself has said it. Reigns was ready, and Reigns has taken over the locker room on Raw.
Yeah, and he's doing a great job with it so far.
Yeah,
Agree.
And here I am, you know, damn onions.
Oh no.
Oh, well, I mean, he defeated Undertaker, and then he made the streets run red with the blood of John Caesar of Rome.
Agreeable on that one.
he's like, Roman Reigns is destroying all of your heroes, you know, and the next person on his list at this point is Dear Miz, and then Brock Lesnar. Well, hero in Sal's mind. That's okay.
That's okay.
You know,
that's okay.
That's just to liven things up here, folks. So, MDS, what's your thoughts?
From a setup standpoint, this is the only match in the tables, ladders, and chairs match that actually features the setup of a tables, ladders, and chairs match. This is the only match that features that kind of setup. I'm not really sure whether it's the right thing to go, considering that you are putting TLC front and center on your paper, on the poster as well, on the banner. With that being said, the reunion of the Shield is always going to be the highest spot of the mark. As much as I would love to nitpick it, I would always say that I'm gonna remove the sense of nitpicking and just see it as a fan and be happy that these three people are reunited once again. And of course, the resulting idea of that is just the whole division being elevated once again. And of course, considering the fact that they already switched the Miz's partners from both Bo Dallas and Curtis Axel to the Bar with Sheamus and Cesaro, and then with the inclusion of Braun Strowman in that matter, I'm baffled by the inclusion of Kane I posited this, and I'm not gonna. I posited this, and it might bring a lot more tears to my partner over there. It's just that, okay, I theorize that this is just a setup for Roman Reigns to retire Kane, which your partner Sal actually actually said that they did this in that ass backwards kind of way.
Sure, but Kane appearing out of the middle of the ring, that's kind of typical of him. He wants revenge for The Undertaker's defeat at WrestleMania, and he now finally has enough energy and the skills necessary to possibly put away Roman.
Exactly. True. Of course, he had to take the time off from his promotion of trying to elect himself as a mayor of Tennessee, I think. Is it? Yeah. Okay. But all in all, of course the sad sacrifices that we don't get to see Curtis Axel play his part in this matchup. But I think it's gonna be a match to watch.
I think he might be ringside though.
Yeah, he could have been ringside. Probably he could serve as a distraction just to create some shenanigans for the whole thing. I could see that happening if Curtis Axel is on ringside. If not, I'm looking forward to seeing how the Shield handles 5-on-3. Although I could remember that they have had that kind of matchup before, 5 against 3 people. But then again, I'm just gonna watch this and see what happens. It's gonna be something from start to finish. It's gonna be a good match, not exactly a great match, but typically a good match, as often the case with these 3 people. And also The Miz, not discounting The Miz's ability to bring out the best in people sometimes. So there's that.
So this match is a very, very fun match. And it's going to be a match that's going to be very, very interesting to see. And it's going to be a very interesting match to see happen. We have a reunited Shield. Roman Reigns, after conquest of his victory against the beloved John Caesar of Rome. And after the streets of Rome once again were bathed with his blood, we now have the next conquest, which is, of course, The Miz and his empire. Now, the reason that Curtis Axel isn't in this match is because Bo Dallas is one of the many people who sick with the bubonic plague of meningitis. So he's out of this match.
We do confirm that it's meningitis, correct?
Yes, it's meningitis. It's been confirmed by multiple sources.
Okay.
So we have that situation. And he was the only one at this point that's been sent home because he was the first one to get contacted with the virus. So at this point, again, the TLC card is still up in the air. They may be moving some spots, and this TLC match might get affected by it. We don't know for sure. We don't know until Sunday when the card is actually broadcasted to us on the WWE Network what's going to be changing and what's going to be happening because of this viral infection.
I agree.
Are they gonna make it public knowledge? That's the question.
I think they have made it public knowledge partially in their own way. Bo Dallas has been pulled from house shows. We know that. We know that he's at home resting. We know that Bray Wyatt has been separated from the roster. Same with JoJo Offerman. They're all separated.
Well, those two are having an affair, but that's beside the point.
Sure.
Yeah. I would
an alleged affair because, again, Bray Wyatt's been dealing with the divorce proceedings at this point as well throughout the past year or so. So we have this match, which will be a very interesting contrast in styles. We have Kane, who's looking for revenge against Roman Reigns after he retired The Undertaker. Braun Strowman, who just simply wants to destroy things in a cartoonish manner. The Miz, trying to prove case that he is the best. The Bar, getting revenge for their teeth. And then we have the Shield. We have Seth Rollins, Dean Ambrose, and Roman Reigns reunited. Which one of these three is going to betray the other? It's not going to be Seth this time. He pinky promises.
No, I think.
Pinky.
And the thing about it is, I myself and Legends Lover on CSS and my wife both believe that Roman's just going to walk away.
Or Dean's going to turn heel.
No,
yeah,
I don't see Dean turning heel. I see Roman just saying,
"We done our jobs."
BS. We done what we needed to do. It's time for us to go. It's time for me to go on my own again. Leave me alone.
Well, also, I think Roman wants to conquer Raw for himself. He's kind of getting these grand emperor ambitions to conquer the rest of WWE Raw, like the olden days. That's why he's brought his Shield comrades back in this situation, because he's made some comments against General Manager Kurt Angle, which indicates that the Shield may be interested in conquest again.
Well, the thing about it was is that I love the promo Monday night when the Shield came out of the crowd like they used to. And the first words out of Roman's Reigns' mouth is that it's a good thing because either or something, but it all broke down to we're going to kick your ass.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
Yep. They want to destroy the Miztourage, the entire building, the lighting, the sets, everything, because they're the Shield, and they decided to go on a rampage and destroy Braun Strowman that very week.
No, it was the first. That was. I'm talking about. This is the second week.
Oh,
the
yeah.
First week they destroyed Braun.
Yep.
I had to give Michael Cole credit. Yes, MDS. I know you'd like it called the whatever, the black something or other. I prefer the Shield bomb.
Okay. Okay. Just a note, I actually said that I prefer Code Black as the
Code
triple
black.
black.
Okay.
So this looks like a really interesting match. All four of us are interested in this match, and this will be a topsy-turvy pay-per-view because of the aforementioned illness that has been hitting the main roster as of late. So we're kind of just not sure as to what's gonna happen. So let's get our final thoughts off here. Tigger.
I hope the Shield match versus The Miz and his conglomerate is the main event. That needs to be the main event. That is the only match that's worth a damn. Right behind it, Asuka killing Emma.
Emma.
Sorry, Sal, but Emma needs to die.
Metaphorically speaking, of course.
No, and literally.
Of course.
Because I know how much of an Emma mark Sal is.
I am.
Wait, Sal's an Emma mark?
No, I'm not. I mean, I like her.
Thought
Oh no, I'm actually rooting for Asuka.
Oh, well, welcome to the right side of the world. Damn it!
But she actually did stand correctly. Now you just found it out that he.
I will welcome you to the Asuka side, but I don't know about your Miz love.
Oh, come on!
It's gonna come up yet again.
So overall, you're thinking that this TLC should be Shield main event and everything else,
right? But I'll also say that, Sal, you will always know I will berate you for your love of the Miz.
I know you will. I know.
And you know what?
But
you know what, my brother? It won't change how I feel about you.
I know.
Is this the point? Is this a point where I have to wait? Is this a point where I have to put the tape of Whitney Houston singing "And I Will Always Love You"?
Oh God, not that song. Oh, wait.
No, anything but that. Anything but that, NDS. Anything but that.
Okay. Anyway. So, Sal, what are your thoughts on this TLC show?
It's been thrown together. A couple matches look somewhat fun, but this isn't a card I'm especially excited about seeing. In fact, this is a card I will likely watch whenever I have time to.
Coolness.
Okay.
MDS, what are your thoughts?
I'm gonna be on the same boat with Sal because I would have to watch this live because I have to get my thoughts on it as well for the show next week. The only thing is that I might be setting my bar lower than Hell in a Cell, which is not saying a good thing
Jesus
at all.
Christ, that bar was low.
I know.
But here's the thing. There are a few matches that I'm looking forward to, of course. The Shield and Asuka making her debut. Sorry, Emma, you're going to be victimized again and then get knocked back down. And then I don't know what's going to happen to her again. But
Is she going to survive the Ichabod Crane treatment?
A second time? A third time? A fourth time? I don't know.
No. Do you understand what Ichabod Crane is, right?
Sleepy Hollow getting chased by a crazy man with a pumpkin for a head.
Yes, I know. The only problem is Asuka doesn't wear a pumpkin head. That means you need Finn Balor to chase her.
Well,
Jeez.
okay. Is Bray gonna survive the Ichabod Crane treatment?
Depends on if he even shows up.
Depends on even if he shows up. Number one. But here's my final thoughts on this. It's definitely gonna be a pay-per-view that happened. It's not gonna be as surprisingly good as Hell in a Cell. Number one. It's just that like Sal says, this is a whole mashup of things that happen that's out of WWE's control, out from the context of booking and storytelling and all that. There's a lot of murkiness and a lot of confusion that's that's happening right now, and I think that's affected this pay-per-view as a whole. Of course, I'm not gonna bash on it too much. I'm just gonna watch it as a fan and see what happens. So there's that.
So, folks, we have ourselves here 7 matches on this show. Quick rundown. Sasha Banks versus Alicia Fox. Going to be a decent match. I feel it will be a decent match that will go about 10 minutes on the pre-show. Alexa Bliss versus Mickie James will be a Godzilla-style clash that will probably end with either Bliss winning or Mickie James getting a gold watch run. The Shield versus the Miz's Monsters. Oh, great. This will be an interesting match. Will be 5-on-3 handicap tables, ladders, and chair match. Probably the Shield will most likely go over in the main event. Asuka versus the inevitable execution of Emma. Emma, unfortunately, is going to lose this first match against Asuka. She will have a decent showing, and this will probably be a long match that will go about 10 minutes. Kalisto versus Enzo Amore. Work on those promos, Kalisto, because Enzo Amore might be taking his belt back in this particular match for the Cruiserweight Championship. Cedric Alexander versus Rich Swann versus Rich Swann and Brian Kendrick versus Jallow and Jack Gallagher. Solid tag team match. Babyfaces will probably go over, but don't be surprised if the heels go over on this one. And then we have the Demon versus Sister Abigail. Everything will be up in the air depending on whether or not Bray Wyatt actually shows up to the match because of his meningitis issues. That's all in all, TLC is looking much the same like it did last year, which was underwhelming, but then turned out to be a pretty solid card. The last 2 TLC shows have actually been fairly decent shows. This one will probably be more of the same, but again, kind of hedge your bets low on this one because this might be a card that will be either a total disaster or people will actually start shining through in the spots that they've been given. You wanted the cruiserweights in the women's division to be focused on this on a pay-per-view for once. They now have the opportunity to do so. We'll see where it goes from here.
Yep.
Yeah, we'll see where it goes from here. And also, for those of you who are saying that, wrestling, that WWE needs an off-season, yes, there is potential for an off-season with WWE, but at the same time, it's still not going to prevent a viral infection like this from happening. Regardless of if there was an off-season or not, there's always, whenever you go into a foreign country or any other place, there's always the potential for some kind of horrible tropical disease or some other kind of illness that's going through that country at the time. An off-season doesn't really prevent that. All it does is it just limits your options as to how many people you can actually bring over. Just wanted to give that little tidbit aside. So, we've had ourselves a really nice jam-packed show today about tables, ladders, and chairs, along with some talk about a little bit about SmackDown and some other stuff that happened. This has been episode 31 of Fizzy's Wacky World of Wrestling with Sal.
And it's also the crossover show that we've talked about.
Yep. This is also the crossover show that we talked about at the start of the show with Shooting the Breeze and MDS.
Yep. You can catch our friends Taker's Minion and MDS for Shooting the Breeze every Friday right before us at 11 a.m. Eastern Standard Time.
Yep. That is
don't
true.
Don't forget the Two Guys, One Sport at 9 p.m. Eastern Time.
Although last week they did have their show on a Thursday, so they do occasionally change up their times a little bit, but they will announce
as do you.
Yep.
Yep. Last week we had our show on a Sunday because of illness, but we're here this week at the usual standard time. Well, actually, we had this show 30 minutes ahead of usual, so. Thank you so much for tuning in.
Because we stole Sal from you.
Yes. Yes. I know. I'm easy. What can I say?
You're an easy mark.
So catch us again next week at our usual standard time of 1 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. There may be a slight 5-minute delay before the broadcast to get things sorted out and straightened out. But until then, this has been episode 31 of Fizzy's Wacky World of Wrestling. The plagues of tables, ladders, and chairs. We'll
And
see you
Oscar.
again. And Oscar. And we'll see you next week. And we'll see you next week with our usual team up of myself and Sal. And we'll see you then. Have a good day, ladies and gentlemen, and we'll see you next time for the next edition of Fizzy's Wacky World of Wrestling. Like Taker said, catch the breeze at 11 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. Shoe Guys One Sport immediately follows this at 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time on Fridays. And we'll see you then. Have a good day. Bye.
Bye.
See you guys.
Bye. See ya.